He struck me across the face, in front of 200 people. The music stopped mid-note. Glasses hovered halfway to lips. Phones lifted, hungry to capture humiliation. "You're a disgrace to this family," my father thundered, his face flushed with whiskey and arrogance. "I'm cutting you out of the will." A ripple of laughter spread through the crowd. Someone hit record. Someone else whispered, "About time." I stood there, cheek throbbing, mascara bleeding down my face. Then I turned and walked away. No shouting, no scene, just silence, the kind that unsettles people because it means control. It wasn't the first time he'd humiliated me. He'd done it before in smaller, quieter ways. The smug grin when I spoke up in meetings. The way he celebrated my brother's failures, but punished my success. Still I stayed. I managed his finances, built his online empire, defended his reputation from his own arrogance. I mistook loyalty for love, but he only ever respected obedience. That night, walking out his mansion, I made myself a promise. I would never again beg for his approval. The next morning, the slap still echoed in my mind, the sound, the sting, the laughter. Then came a knock at the door. 3 lawyers stood outside, dressed in black suits. One of them, an older man with gentle eyes, said, "Ma'am, we represent your biological father. He's been searching for his kidnapped daughter for 35 years. I laughed, hollow, disbelieving. "You've got the wrong person." He opened a folder. Inside were faded photographs, DNA reports, a hospital bracelet with my birth date, and a scar on the left wrist, identical to mine. The room tilted. I wasn't his daughter. The man who slapped me, the man I'd spent my life trying to please, had stolen me. They told me everything. The hospital abduction, the forged documents. The real father, a media magnate who had never stopped searching, who had spent millions trying to find me, and the man who raised me, my kidnapper. Suddenly, every insult, every manipulation, every time he called me ungrateful made sense. I wasn't family. I was property. I didn't cry. I didn't tell a soul. I simply said, "I'll need time because revenge requires patience." My first move was quiet. I asked the lawyers to delay contacting my real father. I wanted leverage before the truth became public. Then I returned to work for him. He mistook my silence for shame. It was strategy. For weeks, I played the dutiful daughter again, smiled at dinners, nodded during meetings. But behind the mask, I was gathering everything. I knew where the secret slept. Offshore accounts, shell companies, tax fraud, falsified records. I'd managed his empire long enough to know where to dig. And one by one, I started feeding those secrets to the right people. The first headline dropped. Reynolds conglomerate under federal investigation. He stormed into my office, face twisted in rage. "Who leaked it?" he barked. I met his eyes. "Maybe someone you shouldn't have slapped." He froze, just for a heartbeat, before sneering. "You think you can destroy me?" I smiled. "I don't need to. You already did." Weeks later, the second headline hit. Corporate tycoon linked to 1990 hospital abduction. I made sure he saw it live, surrounded by investors, reporters, and family. His face drained of color. The world finally knew. When the police arrived, I handed them everything. DNA reports, medical files, falsified birth certificates, all pointing straight to him. He tried to speak. I stopped him. "Remember your birthday?" I asked, "When you slapped me in front of everyone?" He looked at me, and for the first time I saw fear. "That was the night you lost everything." I whispered. He was arrested that same evening. Fraud, kidnapping, conspiracy. His empire crumbled. My brothers turned on each other, fighting over the scraps. I didn't go to the trial. I didn't need to. The world's headlines were my justice. When the verdict came, guilty, I was meeting my real father for the first time. He didn't arrive with lawyers or security. Just a worn photograph of me as a baby, creased from decades of being held too tightly. He said softly, "You've had a hard life." I replied, "I survived." He nodded, eyes glistening. "No, you endured." Months later, I sometimes visit the old mansion. It's empty now, windows shattered, fountain dry. The air still carries a faint trace of the roses from his grand parties. I stand in the ballroom sometimes, the same place he slapped me where they laughed, and listen to the silence. It doesn't hurt anymore. It reminds me, that night, he tried to strip me of my dignity. Instead, he gave me clarity. He called me a disgrace to his name. He was right, because his name was never mine. Now, everything that matters is the truth, the legacy, the peace. And when I see headlines about him wasting away in prison, I smile. Revenge didn't make me cruel. It made me free.